I am. I was. Nice to see you, Karen. It's
Yeah,
been
nice.
so long.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. How are your kids?
Ah, big, big one moved out of the house.
That's right. I've actually run into her.
Oh, you have? That's
Yeah.
wild.
I ran into her a couple of years ago at the Arise Festival.
She was big in the music festivals.
Yeah. Well, Natalie's dad produced that festival, so it was neat to see her.
Oh, right.
Natalie got to see her and Audrey got to see her. And so,
God, it's still kind of a small town, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
So,
Awesome. And welcome to Natalie. We can't see you, but thanks for coming.
Hope you can hear us okay.
Um, and do you want to just start, Patty, or you want to talk a little bit first, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start with introductions about the two of us. So my name is Patty Breach, and I run the Purpose Collective, which is a digital marketing consulting firm, specializes in purpose-driven organizations, so nonprofits as well as for-profits that are making the world a better place. And we help those organizations with everything from social media to email marketing and websites and databases and things like that. And I have paired up today with Karen.
And hey, everyone, I'm Karen from SpyLabz, and we work with small in-person businesses, usually brick and mortars, on all kinds of online marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, websites, review management, review generation, all of those things. And I have a long history of working with arts nonprofits. I was the CFO and the box office manager for the Boulder Fringe Festival for many years. And this year I was helping out the Flatirons Food Film Festival, which we had to run all online, which was awesome and great. And we got them, I helped get them set up with some social media advertising, which was, they had an opportunity to reach people nationally this year because it wasn't an in-person event. So, and that was very successful. So hooray, I'm here still supporting nonprofits. And does anybody want to introduce themselves any other attendees want to introduce themselves? We'd be totally open to that and interested to hear where you're coming from.
just quickly. I have been working in nonprofit organizations for about 30 years. And I kind of came to the end of that a year ago last fall and was tossing about, and in the meantime decided to go back into food service, which I always love, food service management. And then of course last March that came to an abrupt end. So what I have started working in right now, as I'd managed the pop-up gallery in 2019 on the Pearl Street Mall. And I met an artist there who is producing an installation, and her work is really unusual. She paints canvases and then wraps them around tubes, so she calls them art scopes. And what she is producing is an immersive experience of the Amazon rainforest. And the point of it, what she's aiming at, is bringing awareness to it, activating people, getting them to pay attention and realize that we have to act now. So I am helping her promote that and build it and find bigger and bigger venues for it. And then we're looking to partner with organizations that are active in the Amazon and see if we could help support them.
So what's her name, Mary, or the name of her project?
Her name is Maria Paca, Pacca, and her project is called Amagon. So AMAR, AMA Gone. She kind of created this play on words that it's almost
yeah.
gone. We are Amazonia. She's Brazilian. And she lives in Boulder and is working on this project. So it's kind of a hybrid working, for a private artist, but also on this project that we're hoping to partner with nonprofits.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you. And Natalie or Kaylin, if you want to speak up anytime, go right ahead. Oh, and there's another person too. We're just kind of doing introductions right now for anybody who wants to talk about their nonprofit or what they're working on and why they came here today. Do you want to, Anthony, you've got your camera on. You look like an outgoing guy. Oh, no, it was a lie. If you want to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Great. So I'm Tony Hodis, and I work with Green Up Our Schools, and I'm familiar with Patty through that. Am I saying more than what I do, what Green Up Our Schools does? Or okay, so Green Up Our Schools in general, just in a kind of a quick hit on Green Up Our Schools, is that we work with schools, different schools, help the kids there deal with waste management issues. So kind of diverting waste from the landfill is the whole idea. And what we're hoping is we engage them at a young enough age that we habituate that behavior. And so that's kind of the nutshell of what we do.
Awesome. So Patty, do you want to start off and ask people if they have any burning questions before we get into our?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an Ask Us Anything event. So would anyone like to ask us anything? If not, we can get started on some other commonly asked questions we get a lot, but I'll just give it a minute, see if anyone wants to jump in.
Hey, so I was going to jump in general because I can only speak for myself. I work with a small staff nonprofit, and so the thing that constantly happens for me is that I don't know where to focus as it relates to, oh, should I put energy into Instagram? Should it be Facebook? Should it be this? And by doing so, like kind of these things kind of bouncing around, I'm wondering if I'm being effective at all, So I wonder if you could give some guidance around such things, like what's the best way, because it's not like we have a staff person devoted to it. So just some insight about that would be helpful.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I do hear that a lot. There's a lot of people who are in a similar position to you and just wondering, like, the world of social media will soak up as much time as you give it. So how much is the right amount of time to give it in order to be effective? So one thing I would say is I really recommend using a social media scheduling tool if you're not using one already. Because that allows you to create one piece of content and just push it out to as many different social media platforms as you want in one go. And so it's not a matter of, do I pay more attention to Instagram or to Facebook or to LinkedIn or to Twitter? You can sort of equally, with the same amount of effort, post on all of those. The other thing that I like about a social media scheduling tool is that it allows you to plan content out in advance. So whatever frequency that you set for how often you want to post, let's just call it twice a week. You can say, okay, I want to post twice a week for the next month. So that means I need 8 posts, 8 pieces of content that I'm going to put out there. And if you can just dedicate one morning to sitting down, figuring out what those 8 are, and then scheduling them through your scheduling tool, and you're done for the rest of the month. So it doesn't have to be something that you try to remember to do every day or end up forgetting to do every day. It can just be something that you get it taken care of, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
And there's a hack for that too. There's a web app called IFTTT, which stands for if this then that. And you can hook up your different social media accounts. So like if you post on Twitter, it'll automatically post to your Facebook page, or so it automatically cross posts, and it's not a scheduling tool. It's more of a, like an on the fly tool. But one thing so in the small business world, there's a common misconception that now we have these tools like Facebook where you could reach these massive amounts of people, that you should just like take a giant net and throw it out into the ocean and get as much as you can. But really a more effective strategy would be to find out where the people you're trying to reach are. If the people you're trying to reach are on Instagram, then definitely like set up things in the Instagram format, and you can post them on other socials too. But it doesn't do you any good to post on Twitter when all of your people are parents who are on Facebook, elementary school groups. So really, like target your content to them, but also look at what platform they're going to be on. Because you're right, like Patty's totally right. You can totally waste all day, every day, posting useful, interesting stuff on social, and it won't benefit you at all. Did you have anything to add to that, Patty?
Yeah, I think that's everything you said is a really great point. And I would encourage you to think about, like, why have a social media presence at all? Like, what are your goals with it? Are you trying to get more people to give you money? Are you trying to recruit more schools to participate in your program? Are you just trying to reach kids wherever they are? Figure out what it is that you would, in a perfect world, what you would want social media to do for you. And that can help you figure out what types of content to post or where to spend more of your time and attention. In your case, for example, if because I know you guys and I know that you work with a certain number of schools, if your goal is to really better connect with those schools, like with the parents of the students that you're working with, maybe social media isn't really where you want to be. Maybe email is a better tool for you, because you can specifically reach out to that exact group of people and let them know what you're doing, and create a relationship with them and encourage them to give you money in a way that a Facebook post might not be reaching them. Or maybe you want to create a Facebook group, a private group that's creating a little bit more community for the people that you work with. So whatever goals you have, I think it's really important to be clear on those, and then figure out how social media can help you with that, rather than falling into the trap that so many of us fall into, which is, I just want more followers, I just want more likes, I just want more comments and engagement. Like, it's like, well, why? Is that going to get you closer to what your goals are, what your mission is?
I appreciate both those things. And Patty, I've heard part of that from you before, but I really like this private group idea on Facebook. And maybe I do because just recently I've been engaged in a private group that actually is super active. Because I've been in, a lot of groups that it was just like, yeah, we're in this, private Facebook group, but nothing's really happening. People are just posting or whatever. And so this other Facebook group has been a little bit more interactive around a specific issue and just had more engagement. And it's had me thinking more like, wow, isn't this the kind of thing that would be good to have, this kind of engagement with the parents of the students at the schools, and see where that leads, so.
Yeah, you're in kind of a unique position too, because you have like this highly engaged group of parents of these children, right? It's not just like people who are like, oh, that's cool or interesting.
Can I ask a question about scheduling tools? I recently got an account on Hootsuite, but then I found that I can't use my computer to do that on Instagram anyway. It kind of fell flat for me, because at this point, that's one of our biggest platforms, and then Facebook, of course, but Is there any other way to post on Instagram from my computer?
There is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, I'm
There's-
sorry. You're saying Hootsuite's not letting you like auto schedule posts to Instagram?
well, it will, but then it tells me, okay, now go to your phone and open the app and click the, it's the same thing. I might as well be just doing it from my phone.
Is that when you're posting more than one photo, or just when you're posting one photo?
Good question, because the one time I tried it and got discouraged was a series of photos.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done it in the past, and definitely check out what Patty's saying, because I've done it in the past and I haven't been able to post except by using a workaround on Safari, where I trick Safari into thinking that it's posting from a phone.
Oh, that
There's an
makes sense.
easier way to do it.
I
Oh,
I mean, there
better.
must be. But I've got it set up, so
I love that Karen approaches everything like as a hacker. Like, how can I get this to do what I want? So I would say, oh, Kaylin's got a good bit of feedback here. She had the same issue. So she says, make sure you're posting from a business Instagram account. And she also said, yeah, it'll only do one photo through Hootsuite. And if you try to do multiple, it's going to make you do that manually. So there's some other platforms. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Hootsuite. I just don't love their user interface.
Yeah, it was disappointing, actually. It was the first one I ever tried years ago, and now I realize, oh, it was an early iteration that has been improved upon.
So later.com is a really good one, especially if you're focused on Instagram. So Later has a pretty good free plan. I believe you get 30 posts a month under their free plan, but don't quote me on that. Also, their paid option is really affordable. I think it's like, the last time I checked, it was like $100 for the year, which is really great. And so they were designed to post on Instagram, and you can also post to Facebook through them as well, and I believe Twitter. So that's a really good one to check out. My personal favorite is one called Sendable. They don't have a free plan. It's about $20 a month. I believe they do have a nonprofit discount. And that is just a really robust tool that lets you post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. It gives you really good feedback on how well your posts are doing. If you notice a typo on a live post, you can edit it through Sendable. You can see all the comments in one place from all the platforms. So there's some good options out there that are.
I have a question, Patty. Patty, I have a question, because I know that Facebook now owns Instagram. So when I do Facebook ads, I can also do Instagram ads. But is there cross posting for just regular posts, or no?
Cross posting for regular, you mean like if you're just in the app itself?
Yeah, like is there a way to cross post from Facebook directly to Instagram? Because I know there's a way to do ads that way, but there's no way to do actually posts that way.
There is, if you're in Instagram, you can choose your Instagram posts to be simultaneously published.
Oh, okay.
Instagram and Facebook. I don't believe you can go the other way, but that's just like we're just talking about like you're in the app itself and it's just a one-off post, right? Yeah. So Instagram to Facebook is possible. I don't think you can do.
Yeah, I've only seen it in ads. I haven't seen it as far as like posting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Great question, Mary. Did we answer it? Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, I actually had a question around a couple of things. So first, I was curious about stock photo use. Just kind of curious, like if there's a golden standard or rule around how often you should be cycling through stock photos. We've kind of come to a point where obviously we're doing the marketing, so it feels like we're looking at it all the time, but we're having a hard time understanding when a good time to purchase new and move on is, or if it's really important to be recognizable by stock photos. So just kind of wondering your thoughts around that.
That's a really good question. So I would say it's definitely a balance between the things you mentioned. Like from a branding perspective, you want your brand to be consistent and you want people to see to have a very similar visual experience every time they see your social media, your website, or whatever marketing materials we're talking about. And so using a similar style of photograph, even using the same photograph in multiple places, like the photograph that's on your website will also greet you on Facebook and will also be in a brochure, things like that. That can definitely be beneficial for making you look consistent and professional. And I work with a branding expert who says that if you get sick of your own branding, you're doing it right. So it's just a matter of being super, super consistent.
That's
Um,
reassuring.
in terms of like how often to mix up the photos, I don't know
Yeah,
if I would
Patty,
say.
can we ask Kaylin if this is talking about like, are these her branding photos or are these like photos that she's using again and again for posts with different copy?
Primarily branding.
Okay. Okay.
So Facebook cover photo, website landing page, LinkedIn backdrop.
I mean, it's great that it sounds like you have it like really consistently. I mean, how old are they that you're worried about them being too old?
2 years.
What do you
And
think, Patty? I don't think there's a problem with that.
my executive director just mentioned, like, I'm so sick of seeing this photo. And I tried to kind of explain to her, like, well, we see it all the time because we're the ones putting out the material, but it's how we get recognition. And she just seems to think that we've overdone it. So I just wanted to get some more expertise on that.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't think you can overdo it.
I agree with Patty. People get a logo and they use it for 20, 30 years, you know? And if you mix up your imagery too often, people aren't going to know who you are, you know?
That's good to know. And then in terms of like, if we're posting, so we work with a domestic violence organization, Natalie and I. So if we're posting like Monday, we do Monday statistics about DV awareness. In terms of photos for that, sometimes we'll just do like a Canva of the actual quote, but if we want to do a picture, should it just be similar in style to the branding photo, or does it matter?
I would say in a perfect world, it would be great if it was similar in style to your branded images. I would also say we don't live in a perfect world. We live in this one, and social media moves pretty quickly. And so I would do whatever is most sustainable for you guys. I don't want you to have to put too much time and energy into every social media post.
Yeah, totally. Like I think things like that, if you're consistently doing something, it's nice if people know what it is and like it has the same type of format every time. But like Patty's saying, like, don't waste your time trying to make a new picture every Monday. It sounds exhausting and not something that's moving your organization forward.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
like if so Kaylin, are these images like they're the backdrop to there's like text overlaid on them through Canva? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the most important thing is for that text to be formatted the same way from week to
Okay.
week or from post to post, so that that's consistent.
Awesome. Thank you.
What was that term that you used? Canva or Canva?
Canva, yeah. So Canva is a free graphic design program. I really love using it. I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it out. So it's
I was
Canva.com.
going to put it in the chat. Yeah.
Karen's on top of it. It's it basically lets you could create anything from an Instagram post to a flyer or a PowerPoint presentation, just whatever you want. It's totally easier than Photoshop. I agree, Natalie, for sure. And it's really nice too because it lets you work in teams. So you can create a design, you can save it to a team and invite someone else to work on it as well, all part of the free plan. So I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, there is like, now is like the golden time for nonprofits because in small businesses, because there's so many amazing tools like this that have free plans, and you can the problem is kind of like social media, right? You don't want to be like, oh, there's 15 different ways I could make Instagram images, and then you end up like spending all your time. But there's so many great tools like this, and Canva's a really awesome one that has these templates. Yeah, and also if you have someone who's a design person who subscribes to Adobe Suite like I do, there's one called Spark Post that does animated posts and stuff, and they're all templated and they're all super professional, and you just change out the text or the whatever, however you want it. So there's a lot of great tools right now.
What other questions can we answer for you guys? Or is there something we didn't quite answer from one of your existing questions?
I do have another question, but if someone else does, I'd love for them to. I don't want to take up too much space. Just curious around e-newsletters. So we're currently using Constant Contact, and we do bi-weekly, so twice a month. And just wondering, like, A, how often should we be contacting our consumer list, and B, should we be targeting emails to different lists or just kind of like pray to everyone that we have? And then also, obviously, with a free tool or a cheap tool like Constant Contact, delivery gets difficult. A lot of times it'll get flagged as spam or security, or so. I was just wondering if you recommend MailChimp or a different platform, or if there's things we can do in the heading to make the open rate better.
Yes, good questions. I like that you're thinking about all of this. It shows that you are you're asking all the right questions. So in terms of how often to email your list, that was your first question, right?
Yes.
I would say there is no magic number in terms of frequency. The most important thing, I think, is, are you offering your supporters something of value in every email that you send? So I'm not familiar with the organization, so I don't know what the content is of your newsletters, but you want to make sure that it's not too much we focused stuff, like here's what we've been up to, we did this and then we did that and we also did this and we won this award and we're doing all these things. You really want to make sure that you're giving them something of value. So that's you focused stuff. So here's something that we think you would like, here's a resource for you, here's a gratitude message to make you feel good, something that is, you know, helpful to your supporters, or inviting them to come to an event or take part in something. So if you feel like you have enough things to offer them of value every couple of weeks, then great, continue with that frequency. If you feel like maybe it would make sense to be more like once a month or once every 6 weeks or even quarterly, it's really up to you. There's no wrong answer. I also think another really important consideration is what feels sustainable to you and your staff time. So putting newsletters together can be a huge time suck. And so do you want to do that twice a week? Do you have the time for it? Is that important to you? Is there other things you'd rather be spending your time on and once a month would make more sense? Or is this an excellent way that you connect with your followers and you should actually be doing it once a week? I can't answer that for you at this point, but if it feels difficult and you're like scraping for stuff to put in each newsletter, maybe make it less frequent.
Yeah, I would echo what you said, Patty, for sure, as far as having something of value, and really like consistency is huge, because if they don't get an email from your organization for 3 months and then suddenly they get 3 in a week, it's going to, even if you're offering something of value, your subscribers are going to be like, either they're going to be like all in, or they're going to be like, whoa. so so really, like Patty said, just judging, how frequently you can offer something of value, and like really, really sticking to a schedule with that, so that people come to be like, oh, I haven't seen an email from these people in a while. And then they realize they look forward to it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, segmenting your list, I think, is always a good idea. So, what I have found is that anytime you can send an email to a smaller segment on your list, so if you have 1,000 people on your list, but you want to send an email to only 500 of them, because those 500 people are donors, or because those 500 people attended your last event, or those 500 people expressed an interest in one of your programs, whatever it might be, your open rates and your click rates are going to go up for that email to that smaller segment. So what I always say is what your supporters want most is to be seen. And so if you can send an email that shows them that, hey, I see you, I know who you are, I know what you're interested in, I remember what you've done with us, that is going to go far for you with people. So however you're able to do that, to really target those emails towards people's interests, towards what they have done with you in the past, whatever it might be, that's always a good strategy.
And like you said earlier, Patty, it's a great way to offer value. And the more you can segment your list, the more you understand what they want and what they value and what you can offer them.
You had also asked about deliverability. It sounds like you're running into some issues with some of your messages being flagged as spam. This might be more Karen's area of expertise. One thing I would say is, if there are people who are kind of parked on your email list and they haven't really opened a message or clicked on anything, really it's opening things. If they haven't read anything from you in months or over a year, that might be a good segment of people to target for a re-engagement campaign. So a re-engagement campaign is basically, you find the people who are least active on your list and you try to get them to come back into the fold. So you send them a series of targeted emails that basically says like, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while. We're wondering if you're still interested. If you are still interested, would you like to fill out this really quick survey and tell us more about you? Something like that. And if you still don't get a response from those people after your re-engagement campaign, I would unsubscribe them from your list. And that way your overall open rates are going to go up, and that's going to help your deliverability.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And those are the emails that you get. I mean, not necessarily in the nonprofit world, but I'm sure you get emails like with the subject line, "This is goodbye," or "Don't you like us anymore?" It's those are those emails that are trying to re-engage you. And I've found that there are a ton of different things you can use to just be MailChimp and Constant Contact, but there's a lot of different things you can use now. You can use SendGrid. You can use, I think there's one called SendBlue. But Patty really got, you can use different platforms, but the crux of the matter is, if you're delivering value to people and they're opening it, your emails are going to be ranked higher.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Did you say that SendGrid and the other are alternatives to Constant Contact?
They are, they don't, it's, they're a little bit more developer oriented. They're not as user friendly. But they do have a free program. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if you don't want to get into the weeds, you should, like, I'd rather you'd probably stay with Constant Contact or MailChimp, or what's the other one called, Patty?
There's a couple cool ones out there that
Big
are
three.
actually, I think, more user friendly than MailChimp or Constant Contact, like Mailer Lite, for
Mm-hmm.
example. Light is spelled, it's kind of like Miller Lite, but
Yeah.
LITE, but it's Mailer Lite. Um,
MailChimp's interface is actually awful. I've struggled with it for years. Every time I go in there for an API key, I'm like, I don't know how my fingers just go, but it's not organized in a reasonable way. Sorry, what was the other one you said after MailerLite?
Flowdesk is another one.
Oh, I've heard of Flowdesk as well. Yeah.
And there is another one that I can't remember what it's called now. I can look it up and find it though. But those are great, especially if you're doing automated emails, like a welcome journey, which is something that I definitely think you should be doing. So that's sort of like somebody joins your email list or they donate to you. A series of emails is automatically triggered. So like one right away, one the next day, one 3 days later, things like that. Those get really good responses usually. Research shows that if someone has taken the time to contact you, they are very receptive to hearing from you in the window of time immediately following that action. So it's a great time to email them. And Flowdesk and MailerLite they have a nice visual layout of like, okay, when someone does this, when someone joins your email list, send them this email. If they click on this email, send them this message. If they don't click on the email, send them this other one. Things like that that can just really visually lay it out for you and make it easier to understand than MailChimp does.
Yeah, MailChimp has it. It used to be the only the paid feature had that drip campaign. Only the paid one had the drip campaign feature, but now they have it. But again, you're right. The interface makes it hard to understand what you're actually doing. So yeah.
And I found that Constant Contacts is it works, but it's not very robust. So like with an automated series in Constant Contact, you can't tell it to pull someone out of the series partway through. Like if someone joins your newsletter and you want to send them a series of emails, ultimately trying to turn them into a donor, you want to be able to pull them out of that series if they donate at some point during that. You don't want them to
Sure.
and then get an email saying, will you donate? But Constant Contact won't let you do that. So some of the other ones are a little bit better about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Aweber, I think, was the other one I was thinking of, but that's so old school at this point. Cool. Do we have any other questions? Don't be afraid of dominating the conversation, Kaylin. You got great questions.
Did we hit on all of your questions there, Kaylin? I feel like we might have missed one.
Yeah, surprisingly, I should have laid them all out on the chat for you, but you guys answered all of them, so thank you.
Active Campaign is the name of the other email program.
Oh, right.
Find.
Yeah, there's actually so many options. Do you want to talk, Patty, about the Google Ad Grant, since that's something that would probably be relevant for most people?
Sure. Have you guys all, just like a quick show of hands, you can use a little reactions tool if your camera's off. Do you know what Google Ad Grants is? Do you have it?
Looks like Natalie knows what it is.
So
What did you call it? Google Ad what?
Google
Grant.
Ad.
Oh, grant. Okay.
Basically, Google, this is a free thing they offer to nonprofits. It's really easy to apply for. They'll give you something like $10,000 a month in Google Ad credits. And so this allows you to run ads. You know, when you do a Google search for something and the very first item on the list of results is an ad, it allows you to run ads like that on their dime. It's really easy to apply for. I would say it is less easy to administrate, but we can put the link in the chat if you'd like for how to do that. I definitely recommend looking into that. if you haven't already. There's definitely nothing to lose by getting a Google Ad grant.
Yeah. Yeah. I can actually put all this info, and hopefully the links will stick in the chat. But it has all the links. No, it doesn't have the links in it. Dang it. So there is I'm going to just copy and paste that link in there. So there are certain qualifications, like your website has to be a certain way. You have to get a certain amount of engagement. Like if you put up a Google ad and you target a particular audience and nobody clicks on your ad, then they won't renew your grant for the next month. So that's what Patty was talking about. Administering it was a challenge. But it's an awesome opportunity for nonprofits, because I know I run a lot of Facebook ads for my clients, and it can be scary and it can be really shitty when you put something out and you spend, a couple $100 putting something out and you get no responses and no clicks, and Facebook just takes your money. So actually even using this is a great way to kind of trial by fire without putting the money down for your organization, and really learning like how to get engagement on ads, because if you get ads without engagement, it's basically, just flushing money.
Another question that I have gotten from nonprofits before is about SEO, search engine optimization. So, Karen, I'm wondering, do you think SEO is something that nonprofits can tackle on their own, or do you think they should be hiring a professional to help with that?
It depends on the size of the nonprofit. There are, like, if you use WordPress, there are some really good SEO plugins that will, it has come so far from what it has been in the past, but there are plugins who will say, like, you're using too much passive voice, use more active voice, repeat your meta phrase. And you can actually do a lot of on-page SEO with the guidance from plugins. And of course, backlinking is like linking to other pages on your site. That will increase your SEO. Linking to other, like, you should find every nonprofit organization you can and like link somehow to them and have them link to you, because you guys are going to help each other. And also adding new content. Kaylin was talking about using a picture again and again, but the problem with a lot of websites in general is that people put it up and they're like, okay, it's great now, and they just leave it. And SEO, part of SEO is that there are crawlers crawling all the time and seeing if you have updated content. So say you send out a newsletter to your people who are subscribed. If you take that newsletter and post it on your website like a week later, that will help your SEO. There's just so many little tricks, and seriously, any SEO is better than no SEO. If you're like the Red Cross, yes, you should hire somebody to do SEO. But if you're like a 5 to 10 person organization and you're working a lot with volunteers or with, minimally paid staff, you can, if you do some SEO, it will help. But again, like the same message applies. Like, target the people that you can bring value to and that are interested in your organization. Don't try to think that, don't think that if you say, for example, Patty and I were talking with somebody this morning from Growing Gardens. Don't think that you can SEO rank for gardens nationally, right? You want to SEO rank for nonprofit gardens in, northern Denver, right? So again, target people that you can add value to and that who are interested in what you're offering. And that's like the golden rule of doing almost anything online, really. Did I answer your question, Patty? I don't know if I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. I started thinking, I was like, when's the last time I updated the copy on my own website?
So Karen, when you say to like get more specific and nest your target, where, how is that come out?
So
in
like
SEO?
with keywords,
Okay.
right? So say, for example, this woman who has the Amazonia
You're right.
thing, like if she uses the word Amazonia 20 times, right? Instead of
Mhm,
trying to find a synonym every other time, that's
mhm.
going to help her when people are looking. Amazonia is kind of a unique term,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, at least unless you're in that world, and then it does, Amazonia is the entire region where the Amazon is, which covers 9 countries. So,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the kind of thing that if people know what they're looking for, that will come up.
Right. And if she could add keywords like, sustainability, tropical rainforest, eco responsible, whatever,
Right.
like
And
she
art.
can really, yeah. And of course, right. Art and spirituality and Amazon,
Right. Okay.
whatever, right. The more she can target, and people who are looking for that specifically will find her.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So, on the topic of keywords, I heard that you can actually go into one of Google's free tools and you can see what the most popular keywords are that people
There
are
is,
searching
it's
for.
called, there's one called Keywords Everywhere that I like to use. It's a Chrome extension that you can add. So there's like a little icon up at the top and I use so many Chrome extensions, you guys, for SEO. It's amazing. Oh, and one thing I should also talk about, which is especially relevant to nonprofits as far as extensions, is accessibility. So I don't know if you guys know, like my favorite story about accessibility, it's kind of terrible. A couple of years ago, Beyonce got sued because her website was not accessible. So in the same way that if you have a Safeway and you have to have a ramp and make your site, make your physical place of business accessible, if you're doing business online, your website has to be accessible, which means you have to have all of the bare minimum is that every picture you have has to have a meta description so that if somebody who's blind is looking at your site, their reader will be able to say picture of a dog wearing a hat or whatever, right? So otherwise it just skips over it and they have no idea what it is. And then the other big one is contrast. So if you have like a light blue background with like a medium yellow text on it, people who are visually impaired can't distinguish that enough. And there are online tools you can use that can say your contrast is not strong enough. Again, that's like the benefit of having a designer or hiring a designer is that they usually handle things like that. But when you're kind of like bootstrapping it in a nonprofit, that can be an issue. Yeah.
We actually just recently are signing a contract with ReCiteMe, which is an accessibility software widget plugin type of deal. And yeah, it's really great. Everything from dyslexia to color blindness to hard of hearing, just things as simple as just increasing font for people that need glasses. But it's been really, really great, and it's a little pricey, but I think it's definitely an investment that's worth it.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of free tools also that work really well. Like most of the SEO tools will actually test that. It's part of their what they offer. But if you're happy with that and it works good for you and it's not too expensive, then great.
Did you say it was called Recite Me?
ReCite. Yeah,
Yeah.
ReCite. I
Nice.
just looked it up when you were talking.
So Karen, how does keywords everywhere work? You said it's a Chrome plugin?
Keywords everywhere is it's a Chrome extension. And say if you search something in Google, like let's look up Amazon art. How about that? We can stay on that. Right? So then when you look that up, it'll pop up on the side, a little bar. I have all my ad blockers on, so I don't see anything, but where the ads normally are, it'll give you trend data. So like Amazon in 2003, like it's gone up like 4 times since then. There have been spikes in the search for Amazon art. It gives you related keywords. It gives you cross related. So for example, it says related keywords, Amazon art supplies, Amazon. Of course, we're looking at Amazon, not the Amazon, right?
Oh, I've had a lot of trouble with that. My research, it's like, no, that's not what I mean. So when I'm picking up keywords, I'm going to have to think that through really.
Yeah, you might want to do like Amazon forest or Amazon rainforest, right? That's just gonna see. So Amazon rainforest, that's a whole nother matter. I'm only getting a big spike in 2019 as far as searches. And then we have related keywords, Amazon rainforest fire, Amazon rainforest map, animals, right? Those are keywords that are related. And the same people that are searching for those also search these other ones. There's long examples of long tail keywords. So this would be really useful to you, Mary, because you could go on, search this term, right? That's relevant and see what other things are being searched that are related. So you can add that content, right? So
Yeah.
your artist could say something about Amazon rainforest fire, even a post about it would help cross-reference and drive more traffic for those same people.
Oh. And are you looking at Google Analytics? I'm sorry, I missed what you're looking at.
It's called Keywords Everywhere.
Oh, that's that keywords everywhere. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's a really great tool because at just adding more, like I said, if you add Amazonia 20 times, at a certain point, you have to write for human beings in addition to writing for crawlers, but you actually need to write for both, which is hard and can sometimes make your writing. I have this one client who's so awesome and her writing is amazing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to change your writing and dumb it down and repeat stuff because that's how it's going to get found.
Well, this has been a really fun conversation. We have time for a couple more questions if anybody has any more follow-up questions.
Yeah, I think we hit all the questions that Patty and I had like put down our most frequent questions, and I think we hit all of them.
Well, I think one big one that we didn't get into too much is social media ads, which could be a great thing to dive into next time we do this.
Yeah.
We're going to do this once a month, just so you guys know. You are welcome to join us every time. It's going to be the second Thursday of the month. That's what today is, right? Second Thursday.
I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, the world of social media ads is a confusing one. We can definitely talk about that next time, or we can talk about anything else that you would prefer to ask us about. If you want to learn more about all of Karen's great hacks for things.
I can put something together too, because part of the challenge too with social media ads is not only the content, but the incredibly complicated, ever-changing interface of Facebook business in particular, and also Google. Google's a great innovator and they have all these free tools, which are awesome, but they just like get them kind of working and just release them. And sometimes they're not organized very well, or they don't, so I can put something together for next time that kind of talks about the why you, here's a special tip. Don't boost posts. Facebook will always prompt you, do you want to boost this post? And don't do it because it is going to increase the cost of your advertising long-term on Facebook. And plus you don't have as many targeting options as you do if you go in and create a real ad. And one of the most successful ways, one of the most successful formats for ads that I've used recently is one that has a message us. Basically, you can message the people immediately, which isn't great for nonprofits because a lot of people don't have like a full-time staff like waiting there. But it's pretty awesome. It's kind of like a low pressure way for people to get in contact with you. And that's not an option on boosting posts. Yeah. Sorry, I get excited. I can keep going. Just put me on a little breadcrumb and I'll just blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, if you guys want to follow up with me or with Karen on any of the things we talked about today, we would be happy to chat with you. We're here to help. So I will put my email in the chat.
I was just doing it for you.
Karen's putting my email in the chat.
Boom.
And yeah, let's keep the conversation going. We definitely want to be a resource to all of you.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming, you guys. Mary looks like she's trying to say something.
So I'm just trying to say thank you very much. This has really been helpful. I will see you in a month for sure.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for it all. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming, Tony. Thank you, Kaylin.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.